Baby shopping. Keisha. Sighing for the umpteenth time tonight, my eyes moved to the overly large clock in the corner of the room once again, and I let out a groan. It had been 3 long hours. 3 hours since Deandra left the house, and I couldn't shake the unease that had settled in the pit of my stomach. I knew he'd gone to confront Derek. I could feel it in my bones. Rage and disgust rolled off him in waves when I recounted the painful end of my relationship with Derek and how he had robbed me. Deandra was a protective soul to a fault, and even though I didn't want to let him go back out this late at night, there wasn't much I could do to stop him. Over the time I had spent with him, I'd come to understand the depths of his protectiveness. It was one of the many things I admired about him, but right now I could only pray that he was safe out there in the darkness of the night. I glanced at the clock once more, and a heavy sigh escaped my lips. It was 11:15, and I found myself struggling to remain calm. With a deep cantering breath, I sipped from my cup of tea, the warm liquid soothing my nerves as best as it could. The clock's ticking seemed to grow louder in the silence of the house, each second stretching into an eternity. I couldn't help but replay the evening's events in my mind, my thoughts swirling in a chaotic whirlwind. Derek had shown up out of the blue, his sudden reappearance a jarring reminder of a past I'd rather forget. He was persistent, arrogant, and determined to assert his dominance over me. I had tried my best to handle the situation calmly, but his relentless taunting had pushed me to my limit. I couldn't take it anymore, and I can't even say for sure what I would have done to break free from his toxic hold. Luckily, Deandra showed up, but I could see the concern and anger simmering beneath the surface of his normally composed demeanor. He listened intently as I recounted the tumultuous encounter with Derek, the raw emotions in my voice reflecting the pain and frustration that had bubbled up. I knew he cared about me, that much was clear. It was in the way he held me, the gentleness of his touch, and the fire in his eyes as he vowed to make things right. As Deandra left the house, his resolve was palpable, and I couldn't help but worry about what might transpire when he confronted Derek. I had witnessed the power of his emotions, but I also knew that this confrontation was dangerous. Derek was an unpredictable wild card, and I couldn't predict how he would react to Deandra's interference. I wished I could have gone with him or stopped him altogether, but I understood that he had to face this battle on his own terms. As the minutes ticked by, I was left with nothing but my anxious thoughts and the faint hum of the street outside. I had never been one to sit idly by and wait for things to happen, but at this moment my options were limited. The world outside was shrouded in darkness, and the night seemed to stretch on endlessly. My fingers absent-mindedly traced the rim of the teacup, seeking comfort in its warmth. The soothing aroma of my tea enveloped me, a small consolation for my frayed nerves. I couldn't help but wonder what was happening out there, in the cold night under the veil of darkness. I knew that Deandra's intentions were noble, driven by his protective nature. But I also understood the risks he was taking. It was a fine line between protecting the ones you cared about and putting yourself in harm's way. I could only hope that he would return home safely, and that the bond we had built so far would remain unbroken. As if the universe had overheard my silent wish, the distinct sound of a car's engine broke the stillness of the night, pulling into our driveway. The headlights from the vehicle washed the ground floor windows in a soft, eerie glow as it passed by. My heart leapt in response. He was back. With a blend of both anticipation and anxiety, I set my cup of tea aside, its warmth quickly forgotten, and hurried toward the front door. The seconds felt like an eternity as I reached for the doorknob, my hand trembling ever so slightly. I couldn't shake the worry that had been gnawing at me while he had been away, dealing with the turbulent situation involving Derek. A million thoughts raced through my mind as I swung the door open. I hoped with all my heart that he was okay, and that things with Derek hadn't escalated. The outside air was crisp and carried a hint of tension. I stepped onto the porch just as he killed the car's engine and emerged from the vehicle. The soft glow from the overhead porch light framed him, and my heart skipped a beat at the sight of him. He was more than just okay, he was unharmed, and his presence filled me with an overwhelming feeling of relief. He looked both striking and rugged in the dimly lit driveway. His dress shirt had its sleeves rolled up, revealing forearms that glistened with a sheen of sweat. The shirt itself was slightly disheveled, suggesting the intensity of the confrontation with Derek. His tie was slightly loosened, hanging askew in a casual yet magnetic manner. In one hand he held his jacket, and no one needed to tell me he was exhausted. It was written all over his face. His gaze met mine, and for a moment we just stood there in the glow of the porch light, absorbing the silent moment that passed between us. There was an unusual look of weariness in his eyes, but it was overshadowed by his determined resolve. In the darkness his rugged features were more pronounced, and I couldn't help but admire the raw strength he exuded. As Deandra moved closer, I couldn't resist the urge to reach out and touch him. His skin was warm beneath my fingertips, and I felt a rush of affection for this man who had walked into my life and stirred emotions I had long kept buried. Our fingers brushed lightly, a wordless connection that transcended any spoken language. His voice broke the silence, rich and reassuring. "Hey baby, why are you still up? I thought you would have been asleep by now." "You feeling sick?" he asked, his words filled with the concern and promise of safety and security. My heart raced as his eyes held mine. "You hurt? Anything happened to you?" I asked in a fuss, my eyes scanning him from head to toe, searching for any sign of injury. I couldn't help but fret over him, especially given the uncertainty of what had transpired with Derek. Deandra's response was a deep, reassuring chuckle that hinted at his amusement over my concern. He reached out and gently held my face, his touch grounding me in the reality of his presence. "Babe, I'm fine. Nothing happened to me," he assured me, his voice steady and calm. I exhaled a shaky breath, my worry slowly ebbing away as I let his words wash over me. With a sigh of gratitude, I squeezed his hand, pulling him back into the warm embrace of our home, leaving the chilly night behind. The door closed with a reassuring thud, shutting out the outside world. However, my curiosity lingered, and I turned to him, hoping to unravel the mystery of his encounter with Derek. "What happened, Deandra?" His silence trailed behind me, a heavy pause that left me in suspense. Just as I began to think he might remain tight-lipped, his voice cut through the quiet. "Derek won't bother you anymore." His words hung in the air, laden with a certainty that both comforted and intrigued me. Unable to contain my curiosity, I probed further. "What happened? How did you manage to get him to back off?" His response was measured, each word carefully chosen. "People like Derek are just cowards and leeches. They thrive by preying on the weak, and the only language they understand is a threat." My brow furrowed, still processing the tension of the night. "What kind of threat did you use, Deandra?" A hint of a smile played on his lips as he enveloped me in a warm hug, his strong arms providing a shield against the lingering unease. "I told him that if he ever came near you again, I'd involve the police, and that seemed to do the trick." Tears welled up in my eyes as the weight of his actions and the depth of his protection washed over me. I held onto him tightly, overwhelmed with emotion and gratitude. My voice quivered as I whispered, "Thank you, Deandra. Thank you for doing this for me." He held me even closer, his heart steady beneath my ear as I listened to the reassuring rhythm of his heartbeat. "You don't have to thank me, it's the least I could do," he murmured. Gently, Deandra and I settled back into the cushions, relief bleeding away at the anticipation that had been coursing through me throughout the entire evening. As he sat beside me, our shoulders brushed against each other, and I couldn't help but smile a little at the contact. "I'm sorry, Keisha," he apologized as he sank further into the sofa. "For what? There's nothing to apologize for. You didn't do anything wrong. If anything, you saved me today." He chuckled dryly as he waved away my explanation. "I'm sorry for coming back late and making you worry. I didn't mean for it to take this long." His words were very sincere, and I could tell from his eyes this wasn't a gimmick or a joke. He had gone to great lengths to ensure my safety, and that wasn't lost on me. "It's okay, really, you're back home now. That's all that matters," I said, sighing in contentment as I propped my feet up on the table in front of me. He took one look at my feet, and his eyes lit up. "Hey, I've got an idea." Before I could even ask what it was, he got off the couch and gently took my feet in his hands. "What are you doing?" "Relax, I used to do this for my mom all the time growing up. It helped with the stress." His hands, strong and capable, began to work their magic on my feet. The gentle kneading sent ripples of relaxation through my body. His fingers skillfully massaged away the knots and tension that had built up during the day, and it felt like a touch of pure magic. The stress and worries that had weighed me down seemed to gradually dissolve with each passing moment. I couldn't help but let out a contented sigh, a testament to the sheer relief I was experiencing. I leaned back, allowing myself to fully savor the soothing sensation that enveloped me. The rhythm of his touch was a comforting and reassuring presence in the room. It was a silent conversation between us, a way of saying, "I'm here and I care. This whole thing with your ex has been stressful for you, and I know me meeting him and staying later than I planned worried you. I promise I'll make it up to you," he said as he continued to work wonders on my feet. "You don't have to do that, I'm fine," I whispered. "But I want to. It's important to me to make sure that you and our little one are okay at all times. That you are happy and stress-free." Allowing curiosity to get the better of me, and I couldn't help but ask, "What do you have in mind?" "I think it's about time we went shopping for our little nugget," he revealed. My eyes widened, and I blinked in astonishment at his thoughtfulness and foresight. It was a gesture that went beyond the superficialities of our marriage. He had considered the baby's arrival, and it touched me deeply. I swallowed the lump in my throat and replied with a heartfelt, "Yes, it is about time we did that. I can't wait." The next day, "Hey sleepyhead, we've got to get ready to go or we'll be late," the low timbre of his voice whispered as he gently nudged me awake. "You go away, babe," I sleepily fought back. "You've got to get up, honey. We're going to shop for the baby today, remember?" I painfully peeled one of my eyes open to peek at the bedside clock, and my face scrunched up in frustration as I saw the time was just 5:37. "Deandra, for the love of God, it's not even 6 a.m. yet." "Exactly. We can still make good time." His voice sounded unbelievably chipper, and I couldn't tell if he was being serious or messing with me. I grabbed my pillow and placed it over my head as I rolled over to the side. "Where are you taking me?" "Timbuktu." "Leave me alone, Deandra. Come back when the sun is out." I groaned. He gently snatched the pillow away from my head and turned on the light in one fluid motion. "Nope. That'd be counterproductive, babe. Come on. I promise it'd be worth it." Despite wanting to bite his head off, the promise of making it worth my while was very appealing, and while I might not have taken those words seriously from any other person, this was Deandra. He had a way of making his strange requests worth my while. "All right, fine. You win," I cursed as I swung my legs off the bed and ran my hands through my messy hair. "I promise you will love it." He egged me on as I began making my way to the bathroom. "Since you got me up so early in the morning, you can start off by making me some breakfast, mister." I mock-leered at him as I shut the bathroom door behind me, a small smile creeping onto my face. The glint of excitement in his eyes was very contagious. My bathroom routine took the better part of 35 minutes, and by the time I got out of the shower, I was greeted by the aroma of a hearty breakfast that had already been prepared. Stepping into the kitchen, the early morning light filtered through the windows, casting a warm and welcoming glow on our little breakfast nook. The scent of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, mingling with the tantalizing aroma of sizzling bacon and eggs. It was the perfect way to start the day, and I couldn't help but appreciate Deandra for doing this. "Deandra, I was kidding. You didn't have to go through all this trouble." "Well, in my defense, I am hungry, and we've got a long day ahead of us, so it's best to fuel up. Besides, Nugget needs to eat too." I nodded in agreement as I settled into my seat at the table and began loading up my plate. Once we finished breakfast and were ready to set off, Deandra took the lead, guiding me to the car, his enthusiasm never waning one bit. "Okay, mister, are you ready to reveal our mystery location yet?" I asked as I strapped in my seatbelt. He held one finger up in response as though seeking a moment, and the anticipation simmered as the engine of the car purred to life. With practiced ease, he pulled out of the garage and into the morning streets, the gentle hum of the engine breaking through the silence of the early hour. "All right, it's time for the big reveal. You ready?" he announced with a mischievous grin, one hand on the steering wheel and one hand on my belly. I gestured at my already strapped seatbelt, a playful smile playing on my lips. "You've kept me in suspense long enough. Spill the beans already." His eyes twinkled with nostalgia as he began to weave a tale. "We're headed to a place called Harmony Haven. It's not just any baby store, it's a place with a history that's a part of my family." "Harmony Haven?" Never heard of it. I echoed, curiosity piqued. What's so special about it? He leaned back, his voice tinged with warmth. It's where my mom shopped when she was expecting me and my sister. This store has been a part of our family's journey for generations. A sense of reverence filled the car as he continued. Harmony Haven isn't just high-end, it's a haven of memories. Known for its top-notch baby products, it's where parents go to prepare for the arrival of their little ones. And today, we're continuing that tradition. The car glided through the streets as he shared legacy facts about Harmony Haven, each detail drawing me closer to the heart of his family's history. The name resonated with a sense of grace and care, and I couldn't help but feel privileged to be a part of this journey. Deandra's eyes continued to sparkle with fond memories as he delved into stories from his childhood. My mom used to take us there when we were kids. Harmony Haven was like a wonderland for us. We'd run through the aisles, giggle with excitement, and play with the plush toys. It's more than a store, it's a treasure trove of our family's moments. Deandra, I began, my voice soft with emotion, thank you for letting us be a part of this, for allowing me and the baby to step into your family's legacy. A tender smile played on his lips, and he reached over to gently squeeze my hand. Keisha, you and the baby have been through your fair share of tragedy. I'm just doing what little I can to even it out, it's no big deal. I give him a firm nod, and the ride continues in comfortable silence between us, and I took it as an avenue to catch up on some much-needed sleep. The sun had taken its position of prominence in the sky, painting the sky with hues of gold and pink when Deandra and I arrived at our destination, Harmony Haven, the high-end baby store that held a special place in his heart. He expertly maneuvered the car into a parking space and killed the engine. Harmony Haven, with its elegant facade and soft pastel colors, stood before us, radiating a feeling of warmth and comfort. The grand entrance, with its large glass doors, seemed to invite us into a world of possibilities and baby products. The store's external appearance mirrored the importance it held for Deandra's family and conveyed a sense of tradition and legacy. We crossed the threshold, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of baby products, from the gentle aroma of baby powder to the faint soothing notes of lullabies playing softly in the background. The store was a wonderland of baby items, an array of cribs, strollers, onesies, and more, each carefully selected for their quality and elegance. This right here, he gestured toward a display of vintage-inspired nursery furniture, is where my mom spent hours picking out the perfect crib for my sister. I remember the excitement of knowing that I was getting a little sister. I smiled, envisioning the younger version of Deandra eagerly awaiting the arrival of a new sibling. It must have been such a special time for your family. He nodded, his gaze lingering on the crib. Absolutely. Harmony Haven has been witness to so many beginnings, so many family moments. It's more than just a store, it's a place where dreams take shape. As we moved through the store, he guided me toward the latest advancements in baby technology, showcasing gadgets designed to make parenting a little easier. Technology has come a long way since my mom's time, but it's fascinating to see how they've incorporated it into baby care. It's like stepping into the future. I chuckled, imagining the contrast between the past and present. I guess we'll have our own set of gadgets and gizmos to navigate. Deandra's laughter echoed through the store. Oh, absolutely. Get ready for a crash course in Baby Tech 101. We strolled through the aisles filled with adorable clothing lines, and he picked up a tiny pair of shoes, his expression softening. I remember my sister's first pair of shoes. My mom kept them as a keepsake. Maybe you should start your own tradition. I nodded, touched by the idea. That sounds wonderful. The little one deserves a pair of special shoes. As we stood in front of the charming pairs of tiny shoes, admiring their elegance and envisioning them on the baby, a store staff member gracefully made her way toward us. Her countenance was a seamless blend of professionalism and approachability, setting us at ease with her mere presence. The woman who approached us was impeccably groomed, her uniform reflecting both her competence and friendly disposition. Her neatly styled hair framed her face, accentuating her tasteful and minimal makeup. But it was her warm, welcoming smile that truly set the tone for our interaction. As her lips curled upwards, her light brown eyes sparkled with a genuine desire to assist customers. With each step she took, she seemed to exude both competence and a sincere readiness to help. Her well-groomed appearance coupled with her friendly demeanor made us feel like we were in capable hands, ready to embark on this important journey of parenthood. "Good morning," she said, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "How may I be of assistance to you today?" Deandra returned her smile, his eyes shining with gratitude. "Hi, good morning. My wife and I are prepping for the baby's arrival. We feel it's best to get a head start on these kind of things." "That's wonderful to hear," she said with genuine warmth. "Let me help you find everything you need. We have a wide range of options, and I'll make sure you get the best for your baby." With a nod, she motioned for us to follow her. As we moved deeper into the store, Deandra's hand found mine, and as we followed the store staff through the aisles, I couldn't help but feel that our journey, well at least mine, into parenthood had begun in earnest. The store clerk navigated us through the aisles, detailing the essentials for welcoming the baby into the world. Her guidance was both informative and reassuring, making the prospect of parenthood seem more approachable. As we reached the clothing section, the vibrant display of onesies, tiny socks, and miniature outfits beckoned us. Deandra and I found ourselves standing amidst an array of colors and patterns, and the unspoken mulling over possible choices and combinations was all too familiar for her. The store clerk, sensing our indecision, chimed in with a smile. "Choosing baby clothes is always quite the task," she said. "Soft fabrics are a good choice, and it's wonderful to consider colors that resonate with you." I picked up a tiny onesie in steel gray, examining it thoughtfully. "What do you think, Deandra? Steel gray or lemon green?" His brows furrowed in thought for a bit before he arrived at an answer. "Why not both?" he suggested. "The little one deserves a wardrobe as diverse as ours." The store clerk joined in the decision-making process. "Mixing colors should be the goal. It adds a sense of fun to the baby's wardrobe, and some even say it helps build the baby's character." With Deandra and the clerk's support on the matter, I add them both to our basket and continue along the aisle. In the nursery furniture section, Deandra and I found ourselves surrounded by a display of cribs, changing tables, and rocking chairs. "These cribs are designed with the latest safety features," the store clerk explained, gesturing toward a row of sleek and modern cribs. "They meet all the standards and provide a secure environment for your little one." Deandra ran his fingers along the smooth surface of one of the cribs, inspecting it with a thoughtful expression. "What do you think, Keisha? White or natural wood finish?" I joined him, examining the options. "I like the natural wood finish. It has a classic look that can grow with the baby." The store clerk nodded in agreement. Natural wood is a popular choice. It adds warmth to the nursery and complements various decor styles. The clerk nodded in agreement as she directed us toward the changing tables. She highlighted the convenience of certain models with built-in storage. These here not only provide a safe changing space but also offer storage for diapers, wipes, and other essentials. It's a great way to keep everything organized. Deandra glanced at me, a playful smile tugging at his lips. "Organization is going to be key, huh?" I chuckled. "Absolutely. I don't want to be hunting for diapers in the middle of the night." "All right then. I'm glad you both are so in sync concerning this. Let's move on." Next on the list were rocking chairs, and then she explained the importance of choosing a comfortable chair for those late-night feedings and soothing moments. She motioned toward a plush rocking chair with a gentle gliding motion. "This rocking series has a supportive design and is incredibly comfortable," she said. "It's perfect for creating a calming environment during those quiet moments with your baby." Deandra gave the chair a little test rock, nodding in approval. "Looks like it could be my new favorite spot." I smiled, imagining the countless nights I'd spend there cradling the little one. "It does seem cozy." The store clerk added, "And the gentle rocking motion can be soothing for both the baby and the parent. It becomes a cherished ritual for many families." "Okay, load up the crib, the changing table, and rocking chair. We'll be taking them all," Deandra says to the clerk, and she nods with a knowing smile. Our choices made, we moved on to the toy and play section, eager to infuse a sense of joy and wonder into the baby's world. In the toy and play section, the store clerk led us through a delightful array of brightly colored mobiles, soft plush animals, and interactive toys. My eyes lit up with childlike wonder, and Deandra couldn't help but share in my excitement. These mobiles are not just visually stimulating, They can aid in developing your baby's visual tracking skills, the store clerk explained, pointing to a whimsical display suspended from the ceiling. I gently touched the hanging toys, imagining the fascination they would bring to the baby. I love the idea of exploring these shapes and colors. Deandra chuckled, his eyes reflecting the shared emotions. It's like setting up a tiny wonderland. Moving on to the plush animals, each one softer and more endearing than the last, the store clerk picked up a particularly cuddly teddy bear. This little guy is a favorite among babies. The soft texture provides comfort, and they often form a special bond with their first stuffed animal. I reached for the teddy bear, cradling it in my hands. The baby will definitely need a snuggle buddy. As we explored the interactive toys, the store clerk explained their developmental benefits. From sensory toys with different textures to those that played gentle melodies, each item served a purpose in fostering a child's growth. Deandra picked up a colorful rattle, shaking it gently. I can see us spending hours playing with these. The store clerk smiled. It's a beautiful way to bond with your baby. Their early experiences with these toys contribute to their cognitive and motor skill development. Our journey through the store seemed to be winding down as we finally arrived at the baby care section, and the counter wasn't too far off from there. These are a lot of diapers. I whistled as I saw rows and rows of varying diaper designs. These diapers aren't the run-of-the-mill stuff. They are made from hypoallergenic materials, ensuring the baby's comfort and preventing any skin irritations, the store clerk explained, presenting a pack with a thoughtful nod. I inspected the diapers with a discerning eye. That sounds incredibly high-end. Exactly. We want the best for the little one, so we'll have that too. Deandra nodded in agreement. And what about baby wash? Any recommendations? The store clerk recommended a gentle, lavender-scented baby wash. It's not just about cleanliness, the calming scent can create a soothing bedtime routine. I smiled, placing the baby wash in the cart. I love the idea of lavender. It sounds so peaceful. As we eventually arrived at the checkout counter, our cart filled with carefully chosen items, the store clerk smiled warmly. Wishing you both a beautiful journey into parenthood. If you ever need more advice, don't hesitate to ask. Deandra and I exchanged a glance. We were both grateful for the help and guidance today. It would have been a hassle trying to figure everything out on our own. Deandra, with his signature charm, smoothly pulled out his credit card to settle the bill. As the store clerk processed the transaction, I couldn't help but appreciate the ease with which he took care of things. Thank you again for all of this, I said, grateful for his kind gesture. He grinned, slipping the card back into his wallet. Anything for the little one. As we walked out of the store, our purchases in hand, the crisp air greeted us. Deandra's eyes glinted with a mix of satisfaction and enthusiasm. I don't know about you, but I'm famished. How about some pasta for lunch? I know a great place. The idea of a warm, comforting meal appealed to my senses. Pasta sounds perfect, I replied with a smile.